Nigeria has made significant progress in girl-child education with many initiatives like the Girls Education Project GEP3 helping to increase girls' enrollment in schools and improve learning outcome. The project, like many others, is in collaboration between the Nigerian government, UNICEF, and the UK's Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office, bringing back 1.5 million girls into school in northern Nigeria, closed the gender gap. The improved learning, despite all the progress, challenges still persist, needing to build up on the success of the GEP3 and other projects relating to the current situation. What is the relevant authorities, NGOs, and other stakeholders doing to improve the situation to achieve success? These and more will be our focus on Nigeria Today. Thanks for joining us. I am Eucharia Clinton. Now, joining me in the studio for this conversation is Hawa Abbas Hadejia. She's the president and founder, Silver Lining Initiative. It's a pleasure to have you.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Also with us in the studio for the conversation is Rukaya Kewa. She's a coordinator, BSWIP, which is an acronym for Broad Sustainable Women Economic Empowerment and Peace Initiative. You're welcome to Nigeria Today.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure.
So I will start with you, Rukaya. Let me start with you, Rukaya. What is the current situation? I know there have been, just like I mentioned earlier in the introduction, we've had a lot of programs to encourage the girl-child education. Now, what is the current situation of the girl-child education in Nigeria as of today?
Thank you so much. A lot of efforts has been made to take the girl child back to school or to increase the enrollment of the girl child into school, more especially in the northern part of the country. But the current situation as it is now is so obvious that you can see, we can still see it's like stepping onto the chair when you want to reach the ceiling. We still have a long way to go to achieve that. Not only to achieve the enrollment of this girl child into school, but to make sure that she stays in school and completes her education. So we still have a long way to go. So it's just like when you make the intention, at least that's almost half solved. So we keep pushing until we reach the ceiling. As I said, like if we're going to touch the ceiling, we're just stepping on the chair right now.
So Hawa, of course, Rukia has said we still have a lot to do. But then again, what are some of the challenges that the girl-child education is being confronted with?
Okay, thank you. I think we have a lot of challenges, and no fault of anybody, but the challenges will start from the home, which is poverty. And if a family is poverty-ridden, they are not able to even transport the child to the school, regardless of the fact that even the child, the school may provide free education. But if there's no transportation, how does the child get there? Then the second thing is the illiteracy issue, the illiteracy in the home as well. If the parents are not literate, then the value of education may not be as important as another home. And then when we move out of the home, we get into infrastructure issues within the facilities that are provided for the children. We have schools that don't have windows. We have schools that don't have, the roofs are falling apart. We have schools where they don't even have toilets for these girls. Then we move out of infrastructure, and then we get to the fact that we don't even have, our teachers need retraining. We get, if you speak to young girls in communities, they will tell you that most of the time, they even finally get to school, regardless of the transportation issue, regardless of the infrastructure issue. You realize that even when they get to school, some of the teachers are not even present in the school. So they get to school and they find that they've made all that effort to get to school. There are no teachers. And even if they're teachers, there are no equipment. If there are no equipment, so it's multiple factors that create the situation that we're currently in.
Okay, having said that, having seen the these challenges confronting the girl child education, now Rukaya, tell us, why is it, why is educating the girl child crucial for national development?
Education is key to everything. Now, when talking about development, it's multifaceted. let's talk about economic development. Providing skills and jobs is key out of poverty. And equipping these girls who will later become women is a surest way out of poverty. So we just cannot do without educating these girls and women. It's equipping them. Just look at it. A lot of factors are actually saying challenges to what they are achieving this goal. There are a lot of them. Just they are so numerous to mention. But if you're talking about just the woman trying to make herself go to school, be the woman that she's supposed to be, we're talking about dignity, protection of her right as a human being, because the woman's right is human right. How do we achieve that? So she needs to be educated. She needs to be aware. Not only her. We all need to be educated. All the stakeholders. The boy child is included. The men are included. Our leaders, our religious leaders, they are all included into this, right? So we have to come together as stakeholders to make sure it has to be deliberate. It has to be deliberate, or else, as I've said, we're not. It's like a baby. We said, okay, sometimes when you're starting to do something, you take a baby step. It's okay, but in this case, we've been on that baby step. It's far, far, far too long. We need to move forward. But then there are a lot of challenges towards it. We cannot just say we have to solve one problem before we achieve what we want to achieve. It's like we have to just face all the factors at the same time. Like she has said, we have poverty. The issue of poverty is there. We as NGOs, what we will do, we are not policy makers and we are not the government, but we advocate. We go to all these stakeholders to make sure that the government, what the government is doing to achieve their aim. And these women, when they are, and the girls later become women, if they are protected, they have dignity, they have pride. We solve a lot of problems there. They have jobs, because the jobs will bring about dignity and then protection ultimately to these women. So we need to come together. Like BSWIP, what we do is we collaborate with those stakeholders that are very, very close to the grassroots. Now we are in collaboration with the Association of the Traditional Wives of Rural Areas here in Buari. So we go to these communities to talk to these girls, try to encourage them. Sometimes it's not as if that they don't know, they do, but when you go there, when you go to their community, go with those educated women that were successful, and they see it's kind of encouragement both to the girls, their parents, and their teachers, and the community also. We were at Jiwa the other time during to celebrate the International Day of the Girls' Child, and then the girls were so happy. They show a kind of commitment that yes, I want to go to school. I want to be like that other woman. Because sometimes when you say do that thing, you want to see somebody has done it before and where has it taken him to. So they have seen where education, awareness, dignity, pride, and independence have taken some other women. They also want to be there. So we just need to kind of give them some hope to show them that yes, you too can do it. You have no difference between not even the wife, the woman that is being senator, and you that here. We are all women. You deserve to be there too. So that kind of talk and then engagement raise the hopes in these girls. But then that's just one part of it.
Okay, having said that, Rukaya, now tell us. Rukaya has mentioned some things that the BSWIP is doing actually to encourage girl child education. So what is Silver Lining doing to remove some of these socio-cultural barriers that we have? Because in some communities they tell you no, don't send the girl to school. If you send her to school, she will get spoiled. She will be, her eyes will open and a lot of things will go wrong. She can't even get married. Some have this information given to the girls. So what is the Silver Lining Initiative doing?
So in 16 years, we have done a lot.
Okay.
Starting with, we ensure that we carry all stakeholders along from the beginning. We don't just introduce them halfway through our plans. We carry them along. You mentioned the community, so we ensure that we work the community leaders, the religious leaders, and we also are working with the Ministry of Education as well, because we're partners. We're partnered with them. We're working with them as partners, and we're not working with them in isolation. And I think this is a problem a lot of NGOs are doing. They're just working in isolation and not working together with according to the framework. I mentioned illiteracy in the home. One of the major things that we're working on is adult literacy. And I say adult literacy because when you actually educate, when a woman that has gotten married early, perhaps maybe she got married at 14 or 15 because she lost a parent or she lost both parents, and so she had to get married, and then she had kids. She's not had the time to be able to go to school, so she's been raising her children, taking care of the home. When you meet a woman in her 30s, 40s, 50s who does not know how to read and write, and you teach her how to read and write, the value of education trickles down in her home. So I keep emphasizing on adult literacy whenever I speak, because it has such a huge ripple effect on everything, not only girl child education, but also our health indices as well. It has ripple effects. A woman who knows how to read and write is not going to give her child the wrong prescription. A woman who knows how to read and write is comfortable, and her self-esteem is built so that she can even help her children for homework as well. And these are the issues. The learning doesn't just stop in schools, it also goes in the home. So we keep talking about, yes, we have issues with infrastructure, we have issues with poverty, but at the same time, if a child goes to school from 8 o'clock to 2, 3 p.m. and goes home, who takes over if the parents cannot read and write? So that's one of the major things that we're focusing on, is adult literacy. We're also supporting those who are have low-income families, to support them, to ensure they have uniforms as well, to ensure that they have basic equipments to be able to go to school. A child that does not have any school uniform or is going to school with torn clothes, their self-esteem is already down. Their concentration level in the class is not going to be high. So there are just so many, just like we have multiple factors for the issues, we also have multiple solutions as well. So we also, and I really want to focus more on the solutions than the problems, because we keep talking about the problems. We all know the problems. And so let's just now concentrate on the solutions.
On the way forward.
Exactly.
Yes. So, Bisrip, I know you've started telling us what your foundation is doing to encourage girl child education, but I want to also to tell us more what you're doing in the, just like you mentioned, the families, the communities, and trying to remove some of these barriers we have in the even cultural barriers.
Well, we have cultural barriers, and we have more of the, now we can see more of the economic barrier. Poverty is number one. Most of these children, more especially in the suburban communities and then the rural areas, they have to make money for the family. So what we do is to train their parents, that's the women. We train them in different kind of skills so that at least they will not depend on their children to go and hunt for money to feed the family or to do other things. Once they do have those kind of empowerment, then the child will be free to go to school and learn. Sometimes we as it is in the country now, you don't have to say, okay, the girl child totally will not earn something, but while the mother is being trained, the girl child is also being trained in one way or the other, in a way that it will not stop her from going to school. Then she'll come back home and then continue with other things while she does her homework. The thing is that to show them the importance of school. At the same time, they don't have that fear that they will not have food on their table, because sometimes the women are the breadwinners in a lot of homes. So while you do have food, that's security. They do have food, they do have access to medical facilities, then they have access to good quality education. I think, I'm sure that will go a long way to at least reduce even the cultural barrier, because the cultural barrier sometimes they do hide behind poverty. Once that is, even if it is just halfway eradicated, we'll see a lot of changes, because just that poverty is just like the kids need to eat and they need money to eat, and so they have to go and hawk to eat because they don't have anybody to supply for them. But once they have the skills, and then we patronize, that's one thing that we keep saying in Baseway. These women have been trained a lot of skills for a very long time. What we do now is to add value to these skills that they have. Like every other home now even in the villages know how to do either a soap or morning fresh or then other thing. Then a lot of things can produce, a lot of women can produce these things and nobody is buying. So where is it taking us? Then we are back to square one. Add value to these things. That's what we've been trying to do. We add value to their skills, and then we try to showcase these products of theirs to the government. Government have been purchasing a lot of things from somewhere else. Purchase this thing from our women, like Nema. When you have to go to other places, it's the other places and give out food, we have women in agriculture. Take from them. When you are distributing soaps, we have women that can produce soap. Buy from them. Then we are now also teaching them a lot of like sanitary towels. Buy from them. So when we teach them skills and we patronize them, I think it will make a lot of sense.
Yes, thank you very much, Rukaya. Now, Hawa, there's this issue of, allowing, okay, let me start from this question. How do you get the men involved in all of this? Because after training the woman, like you said, adult education, after training the woman, giving her education, some sort of education, and she's a little bit, she's empowered. Now, most of the time, or some of the times, let me not say most of the times now, some of the times, you see the men stopping them from using these skills that they have learned, telling them, so if I go out to work, you two will go out to work. Come on, sit down there. So how are you getting the men involved? How are you educating them to also allow these women exercise their rights too?
So for that, we work with our religious and traditional leaders. Okay. When we go to communities, like I said, from the beginning, we carry all stakeholders along. So when most of the men, we come from a country where we listen to our religious leaders, we listen to our traditional leaders, regardless of how educated you are, how exposed or well-traveled you are, you still are that kind of person, where you listen to. So we work with the religious leaders. When you work with the religious leaders, they are the ones that will they have access to these men. We invite men to our programs. We have programs specifically for men, especially when it comes to women's health and children's upbringing. We have groups as well. We have what we call parents classes as well, where we have the women in one session, the men in one session, and then we have some that we mix them together. Then we have kids club as well. When you train those kids in the kids club, they go back and tell their parents what they're learning as well. So it's really about carrying the whole family unit together, as opposed to just targeting. We cannot achieve anything by leaving men out. We cannot even achieve girl-child education by leaving boy-child out as well. So it's really a holistic view on how to target the issues and, come up with solutions as well.
Okay, now, Rukia, you mentioned what the NGOs are doing, and it is not just for them alone, but the government. So what more do you think the government can do to support, the girl-child education?
Now, we focus more on the policies, okay, and the execution of those policies. Nigeria have excellent policy when it comes to education. What we're advocating for now is the execution of those policies. Once they have been executed, even if it is halfway, as I keep saying, we'll make a headway. So we carry all the stakeholders, as I said. We work with them all, the politicians, because sometimes you'll be surprised. One man will just start something, and then it will occur everywhere, and then everybody now take it. Just want those policies that have been outlined. Let the government please execute, if it is half of it. It's not easy. It's not easy. There have been a lot of attempts, but we don't have to relax. We keep trying. So we keep going to all these high men, because we have people that you can be high but without influence. So we look for the influential that can push things. Then we sit with them, we go for advocacy, we sit with them. It's tirelessly until we go every day. So once we get this in, they accept it, because they have so many other things we know on ground. Government has so many other things on ground. But this policy that we have on ground, this is a government policy. So we want to work with the government. Let the government listen to NGOs. Let them listen more. Not as if they don't listen to NGOs. Let them listen more to NGOs that have interest in all the corresponding policies that they are having, so that we have these policies being executed. We have now, it is at least we have the Child Rights Act now being implemented in some other states. It was not just being accepted without struggle. but then it has been accepted. Because sometimes we have some policies that may not agree with some cultures and tradition, but there is a lot of ways to go around it and achieve. What matters is the end result. So we want government now to listen more again and invite all these NGOs, because they are there to augment the work of the government. So we work together with them, the Ministry of Education. They all have all these DEX officers that will work with the NGOs, so that we achieve all these policies, government policies. Once they are achieved, I think we are good.
So, Hawa, tell us, what's the role of mentorship in all of this? Because earlier on, I know Rukaya mentioned, these young girls seeing people that have achieved, something, women that have achieved something through education. Because it's, whether we like it or not, mentorship is very, very important. Because when I see someone that is doing something that I would love to do, and I watch the person, take me through one or two things, I'll be more inspired to do more, right?
Definitely. Mentorship is actually vital in anything we do, not only with the girl child, but I think that at this point, Nigeria, we have a lot of women that are doing fantastic things. And so I don't think we're short of mentors. We just need to maybe structure it in a more structured way. The government, I believe, has a few initiatives that they're doing. Now, is it trickling down to the grassroots is the question. We have all these surface federal initiatives that are happening in FCT, that are happening in Lagos, the big states. But how about the communities? We need to start trickling it down into the communities to ensure that we have systems in place that are revolving. So when one set of mentors, even those that are mentored, can mentor other sets of people. And I think that's the issue. We have people that they get mentored, but they don't become mentors themselves. And this is something we all need to look at. If you've been mentored by somebody, how many people are you mentoring thereafter?
So, Ruki, I want you to give us, one or two, because people are watching. Some want to, wanted to, tell us some of the people, some of what you've achieved in your NGO. Maybe one or two persons that you have, will I say, trained, and what they have achieved, because this can also inspire somebody watching right now.
Okay, as this topic is related to girls' child education,
yes,
I will rate it because there are a lot of things that we've done in the past that we're still doing. So let me relate it to we went around, because we started in Bauchi State, we went around all the 20 local governments, working with the education secretaries and the community leaders. We get lists of out-of-school girl child. We invited them, we sat with them, and then some of them show interest of going back to school, while some of them show more interest in learning skills. So we take those that are interested in going back to school back to the classroom, and then we teach those that are interested in skills, different skills. So some of them, still up to now, will come with one thing or the other as a gift to the NGO. Oh, I keep doing this thing. Okay. I keep doing this thing, and this is what I'm achieving with it. During the Buhari administration, the wife of the president was donated a rice milling machine. So we take it to those areas where the women are in agriculture, farming rice, and they are still using it. So we are happy that some of them will come back to us, and this is what we are doing with what you gave to us. Some of them they have skills already, but what they want is just to top up. So we did that to them, and they always come back with testimonies that we're happy that we are doing this. So we use this woman to show to others it is doable,
and it's bettering their lives economically. Yes. And just give us, just in 10 seconds, one or two experience.
Okay, so apart from the scholarship and the empowerment programs that we're doing, I won't emphasize on that, but we've also been involved in a lot of school renovations, supporting existing government structures that are not standing, and renovating them. Like I said, even just being in for the students and the teachers as well, being in an environment that is clean, that is, in a way that you can even actually learn, not paying attention to things that are falling apart. So we've renovated a lot of schools, and it's those schools that we even use to do our adult literacy programs as well, because the children go to the schools, and when it's weekend, the parents can also learn there as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much, Hawa Abbas Adeja, President and Founder, Silver Lining Initiative. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for having me.
And also Rukaya Kewa, Coordinator, B-SWIP, which is a broad Sustainable Women Economic Empowerment Program and Peace Initiative. Thank you so much for coming. And thank you for being part of the program. I'm Ikeria Clinton. Goodbye.